Fear drives judgmentalness, and judgment, like fear, is literally a prison that we are the only ones who can truly free ourselves from through our conscious choices. Forgiveness is the key to the prison cell door, and only we can use it. Only we can apply that key, that forgiveness that frees us from self-judgment, judgment of others, from all fears, from all encumbering, limiting expectational dynamics, which suggests that in the human life process, comparison of ourselves to others, whether it's our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, our ages, our genders, our races, our backgrounds, our experience levels, that comparison dynamic leads inevitably to judgment of self and other, and projection onto self and other. And that then leads to competition for supposed betterness, social status, money, power, control, relationship or sex, and safety. And also even competition for love, believe it or not. You might think that people don't compete for what they feel to be loved. They do. So, and they need not. So this dynamic of going through this fear, judgment, punishment cycle over and over again is a skipping record in many people's lives that they remain encumbered in, sort of a constantly dynamically moving prison from which they have a challenging time extricating themselves. And the answer is so very simple: forgiveness of self and other. And that said, it's got to be a conscious choice. Many times we don't feel that it's appropriate to forgive ourselves. We feel we deserve to feel either ashamed or guilty or bad or to blame or wrong in some way, or we feel the same about other people. And so radical forgiveness, radical self-forgiveness, radical forgiveness of other is the antidote, because as soon as we forgive ourselves completely, and as soon as we forgive everyone else completely, we innately, instinctively, naturally love them and ourselves completely. And that is our birthright as souls, to get to live in that constant state of unconditional love of self and other, if it's our choice for that to be our experience of life. These dynamics lead to even tribal collectives and whole nations generating feelings of them being the haves and the have-nots. Strangely enough, could we look at right now at Russia and Putin as seeing themselves as though they've been a functioning nation, to see themselves as the have-nots, because comparatively to other nations, because they haven't had the former glory of connection of all these other countries that used to make up the USSR. So is that a reality, or is that a comparative judgment of self to other, or one's nation to another nation, seeing ourselves as haves and have-nots, so that to such an extent that we validate aggression from a victim, perpetrator, rescuer interpretive lens, and say, oh, well, it's appropriate for us, supposedly as Russia, to go over and kill or take over or conquer the Ukraine. Because of our pain of being the have-nots, not having everything we want, not having enough to feel safe or empowered or secure or whole or as good as another nation or as safe as another nation. So how profound is this single slide if it has led to war in our world? How profound is this single slide if it has led to people living lives of discontent and pain and suffering as a result? how important to solve it all through forgiveness, even to forgiving Vladimir Putin, forgiving everyone that has ever operated aggressively for the entire history of humanity, forgiving ourselves for all of our supposed flaws, inadequacies, wrongs, unwise choices, actions, behaviors, thoughts, feelings, everything. Because when we fully forgiven, the self, the perceived personality and ego identity tends to dissolve. And then we recognize there is no one to forgive and no one to do the forgiving. There's only the oneness of all souls.